You guys will never believe what happened. I'm staying in this charming coastal town for the summer, chasing my dream of becoming a photographer. And I met this guy, James, who's got this retired architect vibe. Think silver-streaked hair, sharp eyes, and a smile that could light up the boardwalk. So the other night I was feeling super daring, and I did something totally wild. Picture this, I agreed to just one drink with him at a beachside bar, thinking it'd be no big deal. But that one drink, it turned into something way more intense. Want to know how it played out? Keep watching, because this story is all about bold moves and desires that burn brighter than a sunset. Like and subscribe for more. Chloe's summer in the coastal town of Seabright was a whirlwind of light and motion. Each day, a new frame in her quest to become a photographer. Her rented beach cottage was her creative haven, filled with camera gear. Photo prints tacked to the walls, and the salty scent of the ocean drifting through open windows. Her latest photo series, a silhouette against a glowing boardwalk, reflected her restless energy. Its contrast bold and vivid, much like her own desires. But lately her lens kept focusing on James, a man she'd met at a local art fair whose quiet charisma had become a distraction she couldn't ignore. At 58, James was a retired architect with a magnetic charm that had caught her eye during her first week in town. His silver-streaked hair was swept back. His sharp green eyes sparkled with years of designing buildings and reading people. And his hands, steady from years of drafting blueprints, moved with a quiet confidence. His warm, "Good to see you again at the art fair," paired with a disarming smile, made her heart skip. She'd told herself it was nothing, just a crush on a kind, older man who'd spent his life shaping spaces that brought people together. But her daring streak, always simmering beneath the surface, pushed her to test the boundaries. And tonight, that streak led her to a beachside bar. It was early evening, the town alive with the hum of summer tourists, the neon glow of the boardwalk spilling through the bar's open patio. Chloe had run into James earlier that day at the art fair, where their conversation about photography, architecture, and the stories behind the town's historic buildings had left her buzzing with energy. When he casually suggested grabbing a drink at the bar by the pier, she'd promised herself it was nothing serious. Just one quick drink with a man old enough to know better. Wearing a simple sundress and sandals, her camera slung over her shoulder. She stepped onto the patio, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and excitement. James was already there, leaning against the bar, his lightweight jacket draped over the chair, his green eyes lighting up as he saw her. "Chloe," he said, his voice a low, warm rumble tinged with amusement. "Didn't think you'd actually show up for just one drink." She grinned, sliding into the chair beside him, her camera resting on the bar. "I said just one," she teased, her voice playful but charged. "Gotta keep things interesting, right?" He chuckled, ordering her a sparkling water with a lemon twist, his eyes lingering on her, the air thick with flirty tension. "Just one drink and you're already calling the shots. That's a bold move." She leaned closer, the scent of lemon mingling with her confidence. "Gotta make the most of it. New night, new adventures." His smile was slow, knowing, his eyes twinkling. "You're trouble, Chloe." Turning a quick drink into this. That just one drink became the excuse for Chloe's dangerous desires to push the limits. The bar's neon glow mingled with the sunset, casting shadows on their faces. The clink of glasses against the counter breaking the silence, but it didn't cut the tension. Every sip, every shared glance carried more weight than the last. The simple drink charged with an energy that neither of them could explain away. Chloe's pulse pounded, her daring streak making her feel bold, alive. "Good trouble, I hope," she said, her voice soft but daring as she swirled her glass, her eyes locked on his. "The best kind," he said, his voice low, his smile warm, the moment simmering like the ocean breeze outside. The next morning, Chloe woke in her cottage, James's laugh lingering in her mind, her dreams tangled with the memory of the bar, the way his eyes had held hers over their drinks. She shook it off, blaming her impulsiveness. But her thoughts kept drifting to him as she headed to her part-time job at a local coffee shop. Work was busy, pouring iced lattes and editing photos during breaks. But every time her phone buzzed, she hoped it was him. Around noon, a text came through. "That drink last night? Still thinking about it. Impressive for a troublemaker like you. Jay." Her heart skipped, and she smiled, typing back, "Just one drink, and you're hooked. I'm allowed to shake things up, right?" His reply was quick, "You're shaking up plenty. Coffee later? I owe you for keeping me out past my bedtime." Her pulse raced and she hesitated, her fingers hovering over the keys. She should keep things simple, play it safe, but her dangerous desires urged her to chase the spark she'd felt last night. "You're on. I'm at the coffee shop till 4. Bring your best architectural story." That afternoon, James walked into the coffee shop, a small sketchbook tucked under his arm, his grin disarming as he slid into a corner table. "Thought I'd bring a story." "As requested," he said, passing her the sketchbook, his fingers brushing hers, the contact sending a spark up her arm. Chloe took the sketchbook, her cheeks flushing as she glanced at the rough sketch of a seaside pavilion he'd designed years ago. "You're spoiling me," she teased, leaning across the table. "First your bar stool, now your sketches. What's next?" He shrugged, his green eyes twinkling. "Maybe I'm just trying to keep up with the new photographer in town. You're making waves already." Her heart raced, and they talked, the coffee shop's hum fading as their conversation flowed, her photo projects, his years designing buildings, the way their drink had shifted something between them. The tension was a constant undercurrent, every shared laugh and glance adding to it. Chloe's mind wandered to the way the bar had felt alive last night, the way his smile had warmed her, and she wondered how far she could push this newfound boldness. "Your trouble," he said, his voice low, leaning forward, his elbow brushing hers on the table. "One drink and you're already turning my evenings upside down." She grinned, her heart pounding. "Good kind of trouble, I hope." His smile was slow, knowing, a spark of mischief in his eyes. "The best kind." They lingered at the table, the sketchbook opened between them, and Chloe found herself opening up more than she'd planned. Her fears about her photos not being good enough, her excitement about her summer in Seabright, her dreams of seeing her work in galleries. James listened, his eyes steady, his presence grounding her like a perfectly designed structure. "You've got something special," he said, his voice sincere, his gaze unwavering. "Your photos, they're bold, like you. Don't let those doubts hold you back. The world needs your vision." Her heart swelled, caught off guard by his encouragement, the warmth in his words wrapping around her like a soft filter. "Thanks," she said, her voice soft. "That means a lot." The next day, Chloe's nerves were electric as she prepared for a beachside art fair where James was helping set up displays. She'd volunteered to assist, curious about his world, and wore a simple dress and sandals, her camera slung over her shoulder for candid shots. When she arrived, James was arranging photo frames, his green eyes lighting up when he saw her. "Glad you made it," he said, handing her a stack of frames, his fingers grazing hers. "Didn't expect you to be an early bird after last night." She grinned, adjusting her camera. "Gotta keep you on your toes." The fair was vibrant, locals arranging artwork along the boardwalk. James's voice warm and steady as he explained the layout. Chloe watched him, mesmerized by the way his hands moved, confident and precise, like an artist with a blueprint instead of a lens. When he helped her adjust a frame, his hand brushing hers, her heart skipped, the contact electric. "You're a natural," he said, his voice low, his eyes catching hers. "Got an artist's touch, even with displays." "Thanks," she said, her cheeks flushing, their faces close. "You're not bad at this, though you're terrible at keeping your distance." He laughed, stepping back, his eyes twinkling. "Maybe I don't want to keep my distance." Her breath caught, the air charged with unspoken possibility. "Careful, James," she teased, her heart pounding. "I might take that personally." His smile was slow, knowing. "Maybe I want you to." The fair stretched into the afternoon, and Chloe lingered, helping James clean up. They talked about her photos, his favorite buildings, the way the town felt like a canvas of its own. Every glance, every brush of their hands as they packed up frames added to the tension, a tightrope she was eager to walk. Over the next few days, James became a constant in Chloe's life, slipping into her summer routine with an ease that thrilled her. He'd stop by the coffee shop with extra sketches from his old projects, his grin betraying the excuse. They'd text late at night, sharing snippets of their lives, James's stories of designing coastal homes, Chloe's dreams of publishing her photo series, her shots taking on a new vibrancy inspired by their connection. Each interaction was laced with flirty tension, a push and pull that left her dizzy. One afternoon, James invited her to browse a local bookstore, claiming he needed her eye to pick out a photography book for inspiration. "Thought you'd like the vibe," he said over the phone, his voice warm, "and I'd like your company." She agreed, her heart fluttering as she chose his sundress and sandals, her camera in her bag for spontaneous shots. The bookstore was cozy, shelves packed with novels and art books, the air filled with the scent of paper and coffee. James was at her side, his presence steady, his stories of old architectural journals making her laugh as they wandered the aisles. They shared a laugh over a quirky photography book with beach scenes, their shoulders brushing as they reached for it, the contact electric. "You're good at this," she said, her voice teasing, as they paused at a display of art books, making a bookstore feel like an adventure. He grinned, picking up a book and flipping through it. "Takes one to know one." "You're not exactly boring, Chloe." She laughed, nudging him playfully. "Gotta keep things interesting." His eyes twinkled, and he handed her the book to browse, their fingers brushing, the moment stretching as the bookstore faded away, leaving just the two of them. "This one's bold like you," he said, his voice low, his smile warm. Her cheeks flushed, and she smiled, her heart racing with her daring streak. She wanted to lean closer, to push the boundaries further, but she held back, savoring the spark, the way it made her feel like her photos were coming to life. One evening, James invited her to his beach house for a late-night wine tasting, claiming he needed her opinion on a new bottle he'd picked up. Chloe hesitated, her heart racing at the idea of being alone with him again. The memory of their drink at the bar still vivid, but her curiosity won out. As she stepped into his house, the scent of sea air and subtle oak enveloped her. His living room, a cozy mix of modern furniture and nautical charm. "Hey guys," Chloe said, her voice bright but with a playful edge, as if speaking to her imaginary audience, her eyes glinting with mischief. "We're about to get into this spicy portion of the story, so please don't forget to like and subscribe." She grinned, setting her camera on the counter, the air already buzzing with anticipation as she turned to James, her heart pounding with her daring streak. They stood by the kitchen island, a bottle of red wine and 2 glasses between them, and talked her latest photo series, his favorite designs, the way their drink at the bar had sparked something new. The room felt alive, the memory of her bold move lingering like the scent of the ocean outside. "Chloe," he said, his voice low, leaning forward, his eyes steady. "I'm not just here for the wine or the coffee runs. You know that, right?" Her heart stuttered, her breath catching, the memory of their drink flashing in her mind. "I suspected." He reached out, his fingers brushing her wrist. Light, but deliberate, the contact sending a shiver through her. "Good, because I'm not good at pretending I don't want something. And I want to know you. Really? Know you." She swallowed, her voice unsteady, her heart pounding with the thrill of her own daring. "You're trouble, James." "Maybe," he said, his thumb tracing a slow circle on her wrist, the touch sparking something new. "But you're not running. One drink, and you're already breaking all the rules." She laughed, a shaky sound, and leaned into the moment, the heat of his touch igniting a fire in her heart. "Maybe I like breaking them," she said, her voice playful but honest, her eyes locked on his. He smiled, his eyes twinkling with a mix of amusement and something deeper. "Good, because I'm starting to like it too." The following week, Chloe's summer felt like a photo bursting with color, each moment with James adding new depth to her story. The coffee shop was busy, but he was a constant distraction, his presence lingering in her thoughts like a half-developed shot. He'd started leaving notes with his extra sketches, small handwritten things tucked into pages. "Found a design to date that reminded me of you. Too bold for my portfolio, Jim. Or that I can guess your favorite photo style by the end of the week. Hint, it's not black and white. J." Each note made her smile, her heart race, her daring streak growing with every interaction. Her coworker Leela noticed, cornering her at the coffee shop during a lull. "James, huh?" she said, her tone teasing but cautious, her eyes narrowing. "He's got you all flustered." "Be careful, Chloe." "Having fun," Chloe said, but the words felt hollow. Her mind replaying the warmth of his living room, the spark of his touch. She wasn't sure what she was doing, only that James made her feel alive, like a subject stepping into a perfectly framed shot. One night, they met for a quiet evening walk along the boardwalk. James claiming he needed to clear his head after a long day. "Thought you'd like the inspiration," he said, his voice warm. "And I'd like your company." She agreed, wearing a light jacket and jeans, her hair loose, the ocean's rhythm setting a soft backdrop as they wandered. The boardwalk was quiet, the shops closing, but the lights and sea breeze gave it a vibrant energy. James was at her side, his jacket brushing her arm, his stories of old coastal projects making her laugh as they passed a glowing arcade. "You're good at this," she said, her voice teasing, as they paused by a railing overlooking the waves, making a walk feel like a story. He grinned, his eyes catching the boardwalk lights. "Takes one to know one." "You're not exactly boring, Chloe." She laughed, nudging him playfully. "Gotta keep things interesting." They stood by the railing, their shoulders brushing as they watched the waves, the tension a constant undercurrent. Chloe's heart raced, her daring streak urging her to lean closer. But she held back, savoring the spark, the way it made her feel like she was living in one of her photos. One night they met for a late-night coffee run at a 24-hour diner near the pier, the town quiet around them. The diner was all retro booths and neon signs, the air filled with the scent of fries and coffee. They sat across from each other, sharing a plate of fries, James's presence steady, his stories of bustling architectural firms painting vivid pictures in her mind. But the tension was a constant undercurrent, every shared laugh and glance adding to it, the memory of their drink lingering like an undeveloped frame. "You're different," he said, his voice low, leaning forward, his elbow brushing hers on the table. "One drink, and you've got this. Fire." It's hard to look away. Her cheeks flushed, and she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, her heart pounding. "Good. I don't want you to look away." His laugh was low, warm, his eyes twinkling with a mix of amusement and something deeper. "Careful what you wish for." They lingered in the diner, the fries growing cold, and Chloe opened up more than she'd planned, her fears about her photos not measuring up, her excitement about her summer in Seabright, her dreams of seeing her work in galleries. James listened, his eyes steady, his presence grounding her like a perfectly designed structure. "You've got something special," he said, his voice sincere, his gaze unwavering. "Your photos, they're bold, like you. Don't let those doubts hold you back. The world needs your vision." Her heart swelled, and she smiled, caught off guard by his encouragement, the warmth in his words wrapping around her like a soft filter. "Thanks," she said, her voice soft. "That means a lot." They walked back to her cottage, the night air cool, the ocean's rhythm soothing. At her door, Chloe turned to face him, her keys dangling, her heart pounding. The memory of their drink, the bold move that had started this spark, flashed in her mind, and the tension between them felt stronger than ever. "You're making it really hard to keep this casual," she said, her voice a mix of teasing and truth, her hazel eyes locked on his. James stepped closer, his hand resting on the doorframe above her, his body close enough to feel his warmth, his presence steady but electric. "Casual's overrated," he said, his voice low, rich, carrying the weight of their shared moments. "What do you want, Chloe?" Her mouth went dry, her heart racing with the thrill of her dangerous desires. What did she want? Safety, simplicity, the life she knew? Or this him, the thrill, the fire he ignited in her heart? "I don't know," she whispered, but her eyes lingered on his lips, betraying her. The memory of their drink, a quiet pulse in the back of her mind. He smiled, slow and knowing, his green eyes warm but intense. "You do, and I'm not going anywhere until you say it." She laughed, a shaky sound, and stepped back into her doorway, clutching her bag like a shield, her heart pounding with the possibilities of her desires. "Good night, James," she said, her voice soft but charged with unspoken promise. The spark between them brighter than the boardwalk lights outside. His laugh was warm, promising, his eyes locked on hers as he leaned back. "Good night, Chloe." But this isn't over. She closed the door, her heart racing, the memory of the bar, their drink, his touch lingering like a photo she couldn't develop. As she leaned against the door, she smiled, her heart ablaze with the thrill of what might come next, knowing she was ready to keep pushing the boundaries of her dangerous desires, one bold move at a time.